The referendum is not just a moment of not being with Frank, of choosing not to be with him. It's not just about being British. It is the time where we celebrate rushing to the polls to say, we are Llanito. To us, that is the great moment.
The Winds of Change production by the White Light Company pays tribute to the 50th anniversary of the 1967 referendum. Focusing on real stories and characters, the play gives an insight into a culture and community, documenting life on the rock in the years leading up to the event. An original script that relies on music, dance, projections and poetry in a bid to convey the sentiment of the occasion. The story told through varied narration.
Sisters of the Winds of Change, one of which is a beautiful little dancer who does some gorgeous stuff for us representing art. And then we have Gemma, one of our actresses, who represents more of the historical or logical side of things. And Laura, who represents the Llanito, the very emotional side of things. And use those three different palettes and personalities to keep painting the historical connective tissue that brought all of the personal stories that we were telling in things like the patio scene together and allow the audience to know what's going on in the plot, as it were.
Do is just smile and go along with it.
Ah, the casual racism of the English.
Just joking.
I didn't mean anything by it.
But they did. This pressure to fit in made my parents speak to me mostly in English.
So even though Llanito was used around me, it was the Queen's tongue which I spoke.
It was the
We're
mother tongue.
part of the same person, so telling it from different points of view of the same person. So obviously there's like conflicting emotions and different sides of the story that we're trying to get across and tap into the whole Gibraltar and UK divide.
We have a few different personalities, like she's more soft-spoken, more warm, whereas it's a bit more sort of fierce, more open-minded, I think, because my character is inspired by Judith Hart, the politician. So I tried to sort of imagine how she would have spoken. A lot of the rehearsals we had was just the two of us, and so Andrew especially was really helping working with us to make sure that we really connect not just with ourselves and the audience, so we can tell the story as one person, as one narrator.
Now tell us about the cast. How do they take on a script of this nature, obviously knowing that they're representing such a significant event in Gibraltar's history?
Quite solemnly, actually.
Yeah,
they really do. They're very serious about it. More so than they might be with other productions.
Our cast, they know the importance of telling a story. They love storytelling. Being part of a cast which, in a few years' time or down the line, it would make an impact on the youth. We all feel it's very important to inform, to educate, to tell it as it could have been. All right, and generate an enthusiasm for our history.
Reliving it and seeing it on the stage, no, you get a different dynamic of what people actually went through. You're sort of like reliving your own history, no, what your forefathers went through, no?
It's interesting to listen to it and to listen to people's anecdotes, and it's something I think we must keep alive for the younger generation. Where we've been is very important, I think.
I was very young when the referendum happened, and I remember a few things, you know, but this has brought to light so many things.
And when we did Jevame, it was the same feeling. We learn a lot, and we learn from working with each other, and we learn all these things that happen that we had no idea, because there's a lot we don't know about until we get to work the material.
Y tenemos que votar y contarle al mundo entero what we want and who we are. Y si alguien se pregunta, this is what you have to say. That yes, British we are, and that yes, British we stay!
Okay, Katrine, so tell us a bit about your character.
My character is not actually the same character I played in the original German Donde Nací. I actually play my younger sister because my character moved away supposedly with her husband to UK and stayed there. So I'm playing the younger sister this time. And I think she's very similar, character-wise, you know, and personality is very similar to her older sister, and obviously physically as well.
So initially Carmen is in London because she stayed in London after the war, and she's corresponding with her good friend Araceli, whom she misses terribly, as well as missing Gibraltar and the atmosphere in Gibraltar. And then later she does return to Gibraltar, so she shares some scenes with the other women in the patio, in the play.
So I'm Trini. I'm married to an Englishman who won't paint his house, so that's my story. And I'm quite a simple woman, a mother of a boy, and life just goes around me, and I'm just happy sitting around and being married, and pretty much it.
Eso, British hasta la muerte, como mi Feli, made in England. Pero mira, yo me estaba fiando antes. Lo sabía made in Spain. Si nos gusta tanto lo made in British, a ver si nos compramos los Clarks que está trayendo Bata, ¿no crees?
Yeah, I've loved it. The cast is absolutely amazing. Working with Jackie and Andrew is just great. They give you so much space. They allow you just to develop your character, obviously with a lot of guidance and directing, but there's a space for movement and changes, etc. And it's been amazing. I mean, we've got people that have never acted before, and we've also got very experienced actresses, actually, and actors like Tony and Courtney and Ida. They're just wonderful. So you learn from people that are so experienced, and you just have a lovely, lovely time. You share tears, you share bad moments, but you share a lot of happiness, and especially when you see people that have never acted before, and you can share that absolutely wonderful experience, which is being on stage.
And seasoned actors, but some new ones as well.
Yeah.
The personalities within the community that are perhaps treading the boards for the first time. So how's that been?
Yes, there are a couple of virgins you are dragging out on stage completely. There.
We've got about 6 newbies, don't we?
But that's very important to our company as well, is to bring, especially through these productions, to bring new folks on board, give you a chance. It's a great celebration of our history, of our culture. That is what's important, which has to be played by locals.
¡Ay, una tragedia! ¡Ay, quiero un poquito de gin, de anillo, algo para los nervios! Estoy bien.
My character is a very typical woman of that time, of the 60s, you know, living in the patios and not working, and a bit of a gossip monger, you know, bringing gossip to the patio and relating stuff that happens in town and all that. I've enjoyed my character a lot. Very Janito.
Tiene que ser el hombre más gandul. Vamos, que están todos los hombres pintando y el muy inútil no es capaz de coger un pincel. Vamos, conmigo podía haber dado ese, que le iba a poner yo a raya.
We're portraying two friends who've known each other for many years. I'm an English person who's been in Gibraltar about 30 odd years, and my friend Oscar here has been in Gibraltar all his life. So really we're trying to look at the two sides of our society, an English guy who's settled and a truly native Gibraltarian.
I have the task of approaching him and try and convince him that it's about time that he painted his flat. Everybody's painted their flat, and his wife is giving him the stick, no? So
yeah, basically I will refuse to paint my flat for a very personal reason, which I share with the audience during the course of the show. And we build that up and build that up until my wife comes in at the end and gives me a really big telling off.
Funny you should say that, because I I'm not going to be the woman of the only man of Gibraltar who won't paint his house. If the flat is not painted by the morning, ¡te encuentras con tu fuerza tirada por la calle!
Bueno, yo me voy.
¿Y tú a dónde vas?
¿Para mi casa?
Tengo 2 pinceles.
This is the first time either of us have been on stage, and really working with Jackie and Andrew has been amazing. They've taught us a lot about how to act, which we had no idea.
It has been amazing to work with Jackie and Andrew with this wonderful story, which a lot of people, like the youngsters working with us in this play, did not know about. And it has brought to light everything that happened and how it affected Gibraltar and Spain and the people that used to come into Gibraltar as well.
Somos 2 hermanas que estamos en la línea preocupadas por el tema de la llegada de la reina, que eso molesta muchísimo a Franco, al gobierno de España. Entonces estamos preocupadas de qué pasará con los hombres, con las mujeres que trabajan allí, con nuestras hijas que viven en Gibraltar, están casadas con Janito, y todo eso nos preocupa a nosotros muchísimo.
Ponerle a sus hijos a la mesa. ¿Tú crees que Franco cerrará la verja?
Yo no tengo ninguna duda. Cuando los llanitos voten que quieren permanecer british, Franco no se va a conformar.
Pues me dice, ¿tú crees que cerrará la frontera? Y yo le digo, yo no tengo duda ninguna. Cuando los llanitos voten que quieren permanecer british, Franco no se va a conformar.
¿Y cree
que
va a estar así?
¿Qué va? Ese canalla, lo tengo que decir, ese canalla cierra la verja en cuanto pueda.
¿Qué va? Ese canalla cierra la verja en cuanto pueda.
Que Dios nos coja a confesar, hermano.
Y mis padres estaban en el otro lado. Y mis padres, cuando nació la chica mía, no la conocía. Y eso era muy triste, muy dramático, para 2 pueblos que se llevaban tan bien y que teníamos esa vinculación de familia. Eso era horroroso, eso hay que pasarlo. Por eso yo lo hablo así.
Aquí ha tenido muy buena idea, buena elección de ponernos a las 2, porque las 2 tenemos esa cosa, aunque yo no lo viví, pero sí después, todos los años 50 y tanto y 60 han sido, digamos, la resaca de aquella represión.
Sí, de tanta resaca.
Y hasta 1975 no se podía leer a Lorca. Entonces, imagínate, todo eso es no una rabia contenida, sino un
dolor muy grande.
Un dolor, una cosa en el alma tan grande, que ahora, al tener la ocasión, yo recito ese poema de José Bergamín, que lo escribió al principio de la Guerra Civil, y ese poema es en contra de Franco. Y claro, lo hago con mucha emoción. Ella lo termina igual, con una emoción tremenda, porque este hombre nos hizo mucho daño.
Fuiste 2 veces traidor. A tu sangre y a tu patria, que a España no se defiende con la traición emboscada, asesinando a su pueblo, que es el alma de su alma.
Traidor, Franco, traidor. Tu hora será sonada, tu nombre es como bandera que tu deshonra proclama. Si la traición criminal en ti, Franca, se llama, tu nombre soy la vergüenza mayor que ha tenido España. Sí. Traidor, hijo de traidores, mal nacido de tu casta. No eres Franco, no eres nombre, no eres hombre.